So it's our little 6-minute talk. So back in the day, two great scientists had a long-running argument with one another. Albert Einstein, we know him. You may not know Niels Bohr. He was another extremely influential physicist of the 20th century. And Niels and Albert had an ongoing argument for about 30 years. And it was an argument that ran to such a depth of the nature of reality that it still is producing shockwaves in the scientific community to this day. And there's still no conclusive answer. But their argument was, Einstein said that there was an objective reality that existed independent of, well, it just existed independently. It just was. And Niels Bohr was part of the quantum mechanical paradigm, who said the only thing that exists at depth are probabilities. There are only probabilities, and they remain so until observation coalesces probabilities into what we call reality. These are two radically different ways of looking at reality. And it led Einstein to famously quote, "God does not play dice with the universe," which is one of his many great quotes. So God does not play dice with the universe. Now, I would agree with that, but I would say God doesn't, but human beings do. Human beings play dice with the universe. What do I mean by that? Well, it seems to me just evident from observation and experience that humans roll the dice with their own life. There's no certainty that a life is going to turn out a particular way. Lives can be anything from the greatest triumph to the most horrible tragedies. And we see this all the time. It would be hard to imagine if we went into the city and looked around under a few dumpsters and found people sleeping under dumpsters covered in vomit with needles hanging out of their arms, that they were living their true destiny. Humans roll the dice with their own life. And doesn't this make life more interesting and adventuresome? If we were robots and our lives were pre-programmed for a particular result, then we wouldn't be the beings that we are. And free will would be an illusion, and we would just be pinballs banging off one another. But we roll the dice with our own life, and we produce results. And sometimes these are highly favorable, and sometimes they are not. So we're shaping probabilities into the realities of our own life. And as we build momentum toward particular probabilities, they gain in more probability. The more something happens, the more likely it's going to increase. So we set these patterns in motion by rolling the dice with our life, and then our lives coalesce into these things that we make. Now, at the end of our lives, I'm a true, strong believer that since we are spiritual beings, our consciousness continues after this physical life. And there's more than likely a review period where we look back on our lives, and it's a inquiry as to how much did we live in accord with our destiny, with our purpose, with our true meaning. And some lives could be looked back on and said, boy, I really missed the boat on that one. And other lives would be saying, I made good progress. I moved the needle. No wonder we get countless, endless iterations of lifetimes, because we roll the dice with our life. And at any point in our current life, we can look and say, am I really living what I'm supposed to be living? Am I living my destiny? Is my life filled with the joy, truth, beauty, happiness that I'm convinced is my birthright? Or am I not enjoying myself? Am I putting up with something? Am I struggling? Is life a constant fight? Have I squeezed all the joy out of my life just trying to survive? These are great questions. This is the great roulette wheel of our own life. And if we find that we are not living our destiny right now, and our destiny, doesn't matter whether you're a house painter or an accountant or a CEO or a mom, that's superficial. Destiny is the actual visceral qualia of living our lives. the love, the joy, the truth, the beauty, the service. That's what determines whether we're living in alignment with our destiny. And if we're not, we're out of alignment, as we spoke yesterday. So what do? Well, we quit rolling the dice in the same haphazard fashion, and we start every day with a mental clearing. We end the gambling every day, and we close our eyes and we go to the source, and we seek guidance, and we seek the capacity to see beyond our own limited vision and the banging around that we do. And it works, it really does. If we do this diligently, the turnaround may not happen overnight, but it will happen in this lifetime rather than putting it off. God only knows how long. There's no shortage of time, as Einstein said, that can be wasted in rolling the dice and messing things up pretty badly. So this factory reset that we do every morning is incalculably valuable. So congratulations on being a meditator. And as we get better at this, the uncertainties of life will unfold and the probabilities will blossom into ever greater good. And as we aim ourselves in that direction, this will increase. This is a spiritual guarantee. Okay, see you all tomorrow.